Hi all, it's Kylie from Kylie's Cardcraft. Thanks for joining me again today. Would you believe it? The altered book is back. We're up to lesson 13 and I know some of you have been asking me whether I'd finished with it. I hadn't finished with it. It was just sitting beside my desk and I just never seemed to get round to it. I lie. I have been doing a few odd just writing pages in both of them. So just with a little bit of dictionary page for this one, some coffee dyed normal exercise book paper and a stamp. I've got a couple of these ones done, just playing with some odd pockets where I had strips of leftovers left over. That's pretty good, isn't it? There's another one where I've started and I've just covered it with a piece of book page that I had sitting on my desk that'll have something on this side. So I have been doing a little bit and I didn't really think you needed to see those ones because oh no, there's another one. Bit of dictionary page again and some original ephemera that I came across that will go in my Ko-fi shop at some stage, but I've just been playing with it. I just loved the watermarks, literally watermarks or stain marks that were through these. So as I'd come across things, I'd just been popping them in, wherever through the book. So there has been a few things that have gone in. But what we want to do today is this. Now I'll lift this up so that this doesn't glare as much. I'm hoping it doesn't glare. What we've got on this one, again, a little bit of writing, just some music sheet that's been coffee dyed with a stamp. So I've kept it all to this fern theme, I suppose. But what I've got here is a bookmark. So it's just a pressed fern leaf that I've got in a kid's flower press. Whenever I get flowers, if I remember to grab them before they've completely died, I will pop them in there. So that's that. And it all goes in to a little clear pocket. And that's what I want to play around with today with you. Clear pockets. All right, so you'll get, here we go. What have I got over here? All right, Project Life cards, yes. Project Life and scrapbooking page protectors. I still have a lot left over from scrapbooking days and I just don't scrapbook anymore. And I still had a lot of these page protectors, so I've been playing around with these and trimming them up, especially the ones from the Project Life series where you'll get the different sizes and all the rest. And I'll just trim them up and I use them quite a bit, especially now that I'm traveling for work, and it means I can keep little bits in them and just grab that to go. Do I have any of my folded ones here? No, got full ones. What I've also been doing with these, no I don't, is some of these longer ones that are open at the top, I will stitch down there so that I've got two smaller top opening pockets that'll then fold because they're stitched, and I can use them that way to keep things in. And it's just been ideal for when I'm on the road. But I like to make little pockets, as you know, in our books. So what I want to do today is recycling at its best. We always get these. I've been playing around with actual acetate as well to see if this would work with acetate, and I will explain that in just a moment. So I'll pull out my book that I've got sitting here and got everything. When we get new supplies, I know, we all get new supplies. So I had Your Creative Studio unboxing the other day. From that's what that came in. We keep all these, we keep our packaging at the back, like our Tim Holtz packaging and all the rest, because we like all the cardboard that they're on, but we tend to chuck these. I'll show you a little hint. Now, yes, you can sew these, but I wanted to play around with something just a little bit different. So the other week I was, trolling Temu, as we all do these days, most of us anyway, and I came across this. And what it is a little bag sealer, and it was a couple of bucks, and I thought, if this doesn't work, I don't care. but I want to see if it'll work on acetate and plastics and all the other little bits and pieces. So it turned up this week and I'd been playing with it, and I grabbed a violet crumble bag and went, yep, sealed it, cut it, trimmed it, and I went, oh. So as I said, I grabbed some acetate, and I'm talking really, really thick acetate here. That's 2 sheets together. There you go. That's where I've been trying to pull it apart. And yes, it seals it. If you hold it too long, it burns it. You got to watch going straight, and that's what I found I had the biggest problem. So I ended up doing it like staples, and it works a treat. And I thought I could use that. And then from there, I went into our plastic packaging, because I had some of these still sitting on my desk from the unboxing that I did the other day. And that's what my little pocket is. Why do that, you ask? And I'll show you. I know, I'll show you. Right, so set that one aside. We will grab, look, here's one. And this one's got a hole in it down here. So I'm going to chop off down there to start with. I'll get that out. And I like to chop these with my blade because I find I move otherwise. Yes, I know it's already sealed down the bottom for me, but I don't want it sealed down the bottom. I want the whole thing to open out flat, and I'll show you why. I'm just going to sit this on so it's nice and straight, or straightish, and get rid of that actual hole that's there. So I'll trim that just above that hole. But yes, you could sew these as well if you've got a sewing machine. But I just thought there has to be some other way, and I wanted something a little bit different. So now I've got this, which has still got this top. I'm going to get rid of this top as well. I'm going to make this the height that I want. So round about, what's my other one? About 4 inches, round about, give or take. So I'm going to trim this to about 4 inches in length as well. Set that there, set that there. Find round about 4 inches, which is about that. So I'm just going to set that there and trim that off. I'll just do a couple of thin lines so that I don't move it too much. Right, so here's this, which now opens right out like that, okay? So it's really soft, really flimsy. But what I want to do with it is I want a covering in there. A layer, I suppose, would be the best word. I don't want it on the back. I want it in here. So, little piece of paper, this one, and I'm going to sit this in there and trim it down to size. Okay, so I'll just make a few pencil marks just so I know where I'm trimming it to. There's one. There's one. And there's one. My top ones can come to the same height, to the exact same height that I've already got for my little bag. But my side one I'm going to make just a little bit smaller. Just a little bit. Right, so there's a pencil mark. There's a pencil mark. Set that there in that one. And I've got a pencil mark down here. There it is. So I want to make that one just a little bit smaller. Sitting that like that. It's not overly straight. Let's see how we go. So just, there's my pencil mark. So I'm just going to take this in just a couple of mil. Half an eighth in inches, whatever that is. 32, 32nd, 32. How do you pronounce that? Right. This one is going to go in here like that. Okay? Just like that. I've got room down here and here. I want to give this a nice little edge with my ink so that when it sits on the page, it still stands out a little bit. Okay, like so. Just a little bit, just so it stands out just a tad. This will go in here like that and match up beautifully, like so. Okay, so we're going to glue that in. And I'm just going to use a glue stick straight on this onto there, because it's not going anywhere once the bag is actually completed. So I'm just going to sit that on there, and we'll use a glue stick for that one. Oh, look, we're back into the blue. Back into the blue. It's whatever I get that's on special on the week. And sometimes it is literally weekly, depending on what I'm doing. Right. So that's going that way. I want my opening that side. So what I'm going to do is sit this on upside down so that I've got no glue there, and I can match it up beautifully and then push down on my glued side. Okay, and we'll just push that out like so. Right, so what I've now got is that's on the inside of that. I'd like a thumb hole in here. Now, because it's a very soft plastic, and I mean a very soft plastic, I'm going to actually grab a piece of paper or something like that. Just sit in there, make sure my writing's up the right way. I'll go the other way because I don't want to ruin that lovely piece of rusted stapled part. Goes to about there, so about here will be my even bit, just in there. It's not going to go through 100%, but you've got most of it, and then you can finish it off with your scissors. If you didn't have the paper in there, you'd be lucky if it'd go through at all, because it's so soft. I'm only going to go to there. There it is. Right, so here's my little part pocket at the moment. Now, this little thing, 2 AA batteries. It's got a little thing here. It doesn't have an on-off. It just, as this bit and this bit attach or join, it melts, whatever it is that it's doing. So here's my acetate that I was playing with the other day. So if you look, you sit that on there and it's fine. But as soon as you put that piece on there, see how it, you can hear that it's actually melted it together. So for what I wanted, it's brilliant. For a little tool in here, I love it. But I did find it was easier to work either that way or that way instead of trying to hold it in my hands, because I was getting very skew whiff. So I'm going to start from the bottom. I'll sit it in. You can see where my burn mark is, so I can see where I need to be. So you can see where it's going across there. I could probably go down lower. It is a journal. It doesn't need to be perfect, especially not my journals. I like them rough and ready. So you can see, I don't know, you can probably see better on that side. See where it's melding them together? Melting. Would help if I was kind of straight. But that's all right, I'm happy with that. And the last bit there. Right, so there I go, all the way across. And now I'm just going to come up here. It does work if you, you sit it on and you go up like that, okay? But I was invariably extremely off centre with it, so I found I was happier making it look like staples. And that's what I wanted to do with it. I wanted to make it look like staples. So I'm just going along and stapling it together more or less by melting my plastic. such a cool little tool. I loved it. Now let's see how far up we are. Look at that. So if I now pop that, I've got that finger hole in it. Look. Oh, missed a bit down there. So I've got that, got all those side ones. I've missed a bit in the centre, so we'll go back to those ones. That one, and that one. How cool. And then so that you don't sit it down on itself and it just keeps burning, pull this piece up and it'll stop it if it does get knocked down. How different was that? But as I said, look, if you want to, just sew around it. But it means that we're then using the entire of our packaging, aren't we? So we're using the lovely little bits that come out of them, like, hang on. Like these bits. Okay, I always keep these bits, but then I tend to chuck the plastic. So now we've got a way of using our plastic as well. Look, you guys may have already been doing this, and I've just been so far behind the ball it's not funny. But yeah, loved it. Right, so now that we've got that done, move those bits because they will now all be valuable for doing this. So I'm going to pull out my journal, and as you can see, I've been doing some of these with this one as well. I don't think there's as many. It just depends on which one I pick up at the time. That's that one. I have that one. I have that one. So that must have been, oh, that's a little bag. I reckon I did that for something else. I may have even done that while I've been on the road. So, as I said before, they're not going to be exactly the same, these journals, but fairly similar. Now, the paper I'm using this time is again from WhichCraft Do You Do, as in my backing paper. So this backing and this one are actually out of, now let's have a look. Now our computer died. Oh, sorry. Our computer died the other week, and my husband has informed me we've gone and got a new computer. But until I get a dedicated portable hard drive for my stuff, I'm not allowed to download any more digitals onto it because I lost all my digitals. Okay, computer died, lost all of them. So probably to save the tears and the tantrum that I had last time, he's told me I'm not allowed to put any more on until I've got a portable hard drive. And I haven't gone and done that yet. So, which is probably why I still haven't done my design team for WhichCraft Do You Do this month yet either. So the one that I'm using is from Vintage Pages and Ephemera, because these are the ones that I already had printed out. And it's this set, but it's got some lovely, oh no, it's not, a lie. Flowers and Ephemera, set 1. Flowers and Ephemera, set 1. Lied. Yes, it's these ones. So luckily I had one full page sheet still done, and they look like that, but it's a full page. So you've got that on one side, that on the other side. So that's the one that I've used today. As I said, my I only had bits and pieces left, so it was whatever I could find. But I have used this one a fair whack because I do like it. So that's the one side. And now we're going to use this one, which is the other side. I've already cut it down to size, and I've inked around my edges, and we'll just glue that one. We're going to sit those ones to the side. I might just pull that glue page off because I don't want it anywhere else on it. Right. I invariably do that. I'll pull a page off, chuck it down there while I'm doing a video, forget about it. It will land bottom side up, so glue side up. And as I get out of my chair, when I'm finished my video, I will invariably step on it. Every time. But it hasn't stopped me chucking them down there. Right. Otherwise, I'm just going to put my hands all over it if it's on my desk or something that shouldn't be there. So this one's going to go here, and I'm going to go that way so that I can actually see and line it up so that it's fairly even. It doesn't have to be perfectly even, just as long as for me, I'm covering my words. Give that a little bit of a push, and I'm actually going to turn it over because I know I've got a flat side this side, and give that bit a push. Okay, and that will hold it all down. Right. So that's this one. This side, what I want to do is make into a journaling side. So I'm going to use, I will either use, you know, music paper as in from the exercise books that's not got music on it, so it's just the music lines maybe. I will use ledger paper, I will use exercise book, I will use grids, things like that that you can still write on, but have a little bit of difference. So this one, of course, has been cut to size as well, but I want to have a slightly torn bit, just to give it an edge. Normally I would have my torn bit on this side, but you can see this page in here is really close to the edge with this picture. And to have a nice torn edge, it's going to go in and out further, and it's going to show a lot of that, and that's not what I want to do. It's just a me thing. So I've got more plain book page here, so that's where I'm going to do my tearing. So I'm going to sit that there like so, right on the edge of that, and work out where I want, so I can tear that about down there. And then I can wander it a little bit. That will be great for something else. And let's have a look and see if I need to take any more off it. That's pretty good. See how it goes in and out? Might actually take just a little bit off there. And I'll show some white. Just to take that so that it's not right in the spine. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. So that it actually looks like it. And then I'm going to just rough that bit up by going straight down the side so that it gives it that burnt appearance. Okay, do this one across here so that it matches the other page, and I'm going to stamp an image again on this just to give them so that they're not just straight lined paper. Okay, so because I'm sticking with my ferns, because I have my laminated sheet with my dried fern leaves on it, I'm still going to be going with the fern leaf in the stamps, so, which I've put away. Right, so I've got a fern leaf in here. I've got a fern die as well, but I couldn't be bothered bringing it out and cutting it out. Look, that's a maidenhair fern. So, we'll use that one. That one there. Oh, there's going to be such a crash there soon. And we will use my Misty. Pull that one out. Sit him over there. And I'm going to go that way. So I want this to sit down in that. Because he goes sideways, I'd have to bring him even further out there, so I'm going to have him sitting in here in this torn bit anyway. So I'm just going to sit that down in here. So I'm doing it technically with my stamping platform upside down, just like that, picking that up, and I'm sticking with the green that I used in I'm going to say in the fern leaves. Well, of course the fern leaves are green, Kylie, so scrap that. I'm just going to stick with the same colour that the fern leaves are. Right. So give it a good ink. Because this one's a fairly solid one, you can see if you've missed any areas because the air will get trapped under them as you go. So just make sure you've got them all. Because I'm doing it on a stamping platform, if I need to give it another go over with ink, I can. So just straight down, follow it with your fingers. You can do it with just a normal acrylic block as well. But I find, especially with solid ones, which is what this one is, they do more often need two stampings, and that gets harder when you're just using your acrylic block. See how this bit's missed here? There's a little bit of ink still left on that, so I'm just going to sit it down and give it a push. Just there. And that's what I quite often find with the solid ones. They do tend to need a couple of goes, because the air will get trapped between the stamp and the paper as it goes down. That's all it is. It's not your stamping or anything else. Don't be dissuaded by it. But it's just one of those things, and you do quite often need to give them a second go, and that's why I like my stamping platform. So I told you there'd be a crash. That was my trimmer. I caught it though. I caught it. Alright, put this one back before I lose this one as well. Right. That'll go back down there because that is just all leaves. This one we can now adhere onto here. So once again, we'll pull our glue page over, turn it around the other way. Hope that there's no glue left on that. And down we go. Follow that bit all the way. This one's a bit thicker, this paper, than your normal copy paper. Whether they're meant to be or not, or whether it was just the exercise book or pad that I was using, I'm not quite certain. But it is a little bit thicker. So it needs a good chunk of glue, and you might find with something like this, you may need to go back later on, once it's fully dried, and just fix it up with your liquid glue. But give it a day or so, and then you can go back through it. So this one, all I know is that I want to cover just where that picture is, just like that. Okay, got my scraper, follow that all up, make sure my edges are done as much as I can, because if you don't have to go back to reed glue, even better. But if you do, it's not the end of the world. Just work your way back around with your liquid glue. Check your edges. I tend to go back once I've finished a journal before it goes out for sale. I will go back around and check all those anyway on anything. So, right. That's that one done. That's that one done. Now what we're going to do is a little bag. So here's our little bag. This one's going to sit in here, and it all matches in with the colour of that. My script, and I've got my soon-to-be bookmark. So what we're going to do with this one is we'll work out where our bookmark needs to be so that we can cut it to actual size. I sit that flat on my grid because what I want is my fern leaf to go as straight as possible and to sit up a little bit. So it's going to be cut back about here and down through there. Okay, so I will trim this. You will find that this piece is already crooked, so it's where I've trimmed the one prior to that, but that's fine because we're going to go up here. What I will do though is I use a permanent marker because it's acetate, and I can put a marking there. I can put a marking there so I know where I'm going. This is my width that we're going to end up being. I may need to go a little bit narrower. That's still nice and straight down there, and this is straight. So I can see with this one, I don't need to worry about any of the other angles. So we're going to trim this, and I'll move this way, and I'll do this one first. I'll pull out a big ruler. Right, I just thought I don't have my glasses on, but yes I do. That's a bit of a worry, isn't it? There, and I know this is glaring, sorry. There's nothing else I can do about it at the moment. Find where I've got that marking. There. Right, so that'll go on that one, that'll go on that one. I have glasses on and one eye closed. Again, because this is a thicker acetate, if you're using a knife, just do a couple of shallow cuts. Don't try and do it too hard, because if you slip, it's going to just keep cutting, okay? So there's one side. Now we can do our other side. We know that this one's straight and the bottom is straight. So now we can cut up here. And that still gives me room to trim off a little bit on this side to even it up if it doesn't fit in my little pouch. So 1, 2, yep, and you can see that it just moves away as you cut. So this is what I've got. And here's where I want to actually sit it in and see the height that I wanted. That's why I've got my little thumb hole up here too. Makes it a little bit easier. She says as she can't get it in. There we go. That's actually a pretty good fit. But you can see it's way too high. I'm going to cut it about there, which will give me, you know, so we're going to go up 2 centimetres, 2.5 centimetres, 3/4 of an inch to an inch. If I go that way, so I'm going to sit you there, sit you there, and I might actually get my small ruler for this, instead of having it all sitting there. So where's that one? That's there. Might go down to about there, which I'm sure is about that measurement that I said it was going to be. That's all nice and even. Again, just little shallow cuts. Hang on to your ruler nice and tight, but just give that little shallow cuts. Oh, we're going for time. Beautiful. Now we'll have a look at our sizing, which is why I do my little pouch first. That's a better size. And I want to be able to pop an eyelet and a tag up here, so I think we're going to finish round about there. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at it on our actual book. Sitting that there. Down a little bit. So if our tag finishes about there, that gives me room for an eyelet as well. Okay, it's always wise just to check as you go with your actual book. So we can see our little marking, vaguely, in the glare, sorry. Right, that one there, that one there. I want to round all my corners on this. I quite often do when I'm using laminated sheets, because they can be quite sharp. And the last thing you want to do is give someone a cut from a beautiful little bookmark that you've given them. So we're going to round our corners. Sit this one in. One. And I'll round all 4 of them. This works heaps better. I used another one that was sitting on my desk for the other one, and then had to hand trim each and every one of them. So there's my bookmark. I want to pop an eyelet in here, but I want to make sure it's nice and centered. I haven't checked to see how big this is. 2.5 inches. So if I set that there like that, that's about even to there. So 1, 2, 3. This is my center point, and I just need to work out how far down I'm going to come. There's my top. So if I go about here, like that, then I can get, oh, I finally bought myself a crocodile. Yay! And I've found for the ones that I've got, I need the big one, which is that. I'm still learning to use my crocodile, so just bear with me. That hole in the centre, like so. And I've got my eyelets here, and I want to go pink because we've got a pink in both those sheets. Oh, that's what I had to tell you all. 2 things while I'm doing this. One, which craft do you do? You know, you all know I'm on the design team. Well, the lovely ladies, so Anne, Kerry and Rennie at WhichCraft Do You Do have very nicely given us girls in their design team a special code for you guys to put in when you get their digitals. It's just on their digital products, in either their website or their email, or their Etsy, and it'll give you 15% off any of their digital products. You just need to put in the code Kylie, so Kylie in capitals, 2023. I will pop that in the description down below. That will give you a discount for the rest of the year. If you put my code in, you've got that for the rest of this year. How's that? Told you these girls rock. Just wonderful. So, and you know I love all their digital products, and I've been using them for quite a while, way before I was doing design team work for them. So it's just so lovely of them. So yes, so I think we should support them as well, and go and get lots of digitals from them. So yes. Right, so there's my little pouch with my little pocket in there, and I've still got that sitting there. We'll get rid of that one, and we can adhere this onto our page and decorate it. We'll move that one now because we don't need that, and we don't need that, and we don't need that. We'll move all those out of the way. I'm going to actually pop this back in so I can see where I want to take this to, and I want it a bit lower so that my tag sits about here, so that when I put some fluffy stuff at the top, it'll stick out again from my book. So we're going to adhere this. Now, for me, just to make sure it is solid as a rock in there and not going to go anywhere, I'm going to do it with my double-sided tape. Okay, once I get my hair off it. Right. Now, my other news is that I have finally, yay, opened my Ko-fi shop. So I will have the link to my Ko-fi page in the description box as well. Wow, there'll be some links and a half in there today. At this stage, I have got my vintage paper packs in there. You'll get 15 double sheets, so 30 pages in all, in the pack, all wrapped in a beautiful column from an 1886 newspaper. Now, I'm sorry, girls, but at this stage, I am only shipping in Australia. Give me a chance. I promise I will get it worked out for the rest of the world. But yes, at this stage, it is just in Australia. So just testing the waters, dipping me toes in type thing. I have got other packs coming up shortly. I've got that beautiful 1886 newspaper. There will be packs of those going up shortly. And I've got music sheet packs coming up, and I will have oh, sorry, I've spoken too much. And I will also have some mixture packs, and then over time I will also have some of my creations up there as well. So it's just the start, just tippy toes in the water. But yes, I knew there was lots of news to tell you on this one. All right. Sorry, I've got a real frog in my throat and I didn't bring my drink in. So I want that up about there. I want it nice and even. Now I'm going to pull that out and give it a really good push down. So all we've got to do now is just decorate. Oh dear, sorry. And I've got a few bits and pieces here. I love these. These were stickers that came in the Your Creative Studio one. I like that chapter. So if we pop this back in, doesn't take much to decorate. I like that. Need a bit more ink on that one. These ones are just stickers, so I can peel that one off. Like so. Oop. And I'm going to pop that one down there. Because this is almost burgundy. It's a brown, but it's so close to a burgundy that it matches all in with this as well. And I've got this one, not necessarily a fern, but this one is a fern. So I'm still in two minds of which one I'm going to use. I'm thinking it might be this one, actually. Might go this one. And for this, I just want to rough it up. Now, the other day I used my scissors. I found my edge distresser. So I just want to give it a really little torn. It's been in someone's pocket, you know, it's gone through the wash and all the rest. And then stuck into our journal. So and then grab your distressing and go over it like so. And then you've got this really rough torn look very quickly without having to worry about actually hand tearing anything. And then you've got this look. So we don't want it up here, we don't want it past this, because this is moving. So we're going to have it just down here like so. Okay, and I'm just going to use my glue stick on that one because it'll have no pressure put onto it. It's just sitting on top of the plastic, so it's, whereas the other one will have pressure where you're putting this one in and out. That's why I've used the double-sided tape. This one's going to go down there like that. Smooth that down. A little bit of that came out, so hang on a moment. Get that glue off there. Right, so I'll go back and get a little off again once it's dry. Right. So there's that bit. Why am I putting that one back in? I don't know. I don't know. Right, that's that. All we've got to do now is thread our tag and we're done. So, colour-wise for this one, the other one I've used a green and a cheesecloth. So with this one, I'm thinking I might use some pink lace. Let's have a look. Got a couple of pink laces down here. What have I got in a small one? Nothing. Sure I've got pink lace in small. I'm sure. Didn't bring any over. Alright, so it's not in that one. Go to the next drawer. Too many drawers these days. Oh, I wanted a pink lace. Alright, so no pink lace. This one's going to be just way. That's too thick, that's too wide. I feel like Goldilocks. That one's a bit too wide as well. Alright, 5 seconds, sit the microphone just there. Hang on a moment. Got pink over here, I know I have. Pink. Cream. Nope. Go to grey. That's really strange. I must have some somewhere. I've got a grey and I've got a green. So I'm back. Got a grey and I've got a green. This one might do something, and then there's this one. So it's fairly thin to touch, even though it's wide. So we'll have a look and see whether that one will. This should still go in. That's not bad. Let's have a look at this grey. Grey, it would be grey, wouldn't it? Which one? The green or the grey? And the decision was, don't mind either of them actually. she says as she pulls out the grey. I don't do coloured laces. I try, but I just can't do them. I know. Chill me off. That's fine. What to do with my tweezers? I'm just going to push this through, which is what I usually do. Grab it at the back, pull it through, and then where I've got the loop at the back, I can just tuck both of those through there, like so. Give him a tug. I don't want them the same length, so it's nice and loose. And now I just want to, you know, stretch it out, give it a loved feel. It's been, you know, hung on to. It's been in someone's book, and they sit there and they fiddle with it while they're reading, and, you know, you've got to come up with these stories. So, like that. Yeah, I like that better. Right. Like that. So when it's in, the whole thing looks decorated. Like so. That might need redoing. There we go. How's that? So we are back with our altered books. Promise, there's not that much to go. We are halfway. We are over halfway, because there's some of these that have already been done, more in some than the others, and I will go through and do a few more of these, and we'll get back onto these. I hope you've liked this one, girls. Thank you for watching. Thank you for asking me if I'm going to get back onto it, because it was the push that I needed. So until next time, happy crafting, and I'll see you all later. Bye.